Okay, we're live. Nice, nice. We have some interesting, a little interesting topics that have come out. So we're going to talk about those. We're just waiting for we can get some viewers in because, of course, we're all about interaction here. We're all about hearing what y'all got to say. So it's important that you guys are up and available to watch this late podcast. It's a late one, late night, but we have some interesting things that have developed, and we want to talk about it and maybe get your guys' comment on it. One of the things that I'd like to ask everybody right now, we have 17 viewers. Guys, it helps me a lot if you guys share this podcast. Shout out to Sarai Cavazos for tagging people. I appreciate that as well. But if you guys can share this video, that way we can try to reach out to more people, as many as possible, whether they like what they hear or anything like that. At least we're getting our message across, right? So let's real quick before we start, with the main show. Paco, how we're doing tonight? Carlos, how you doing? Again, Sarai always helps out by tagging people. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. Vale, what's going on? My aunt, she's always very 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 nice and generous. And the thing is that me and her son, my cousin Joe, we look alike. We resemble each other. Of course, we're family. That's why I always get the handsome comments from my aunt there. Awesome. Paco, how you doing, Paco? There's the other Paco, Paco Jr. All right, guys. Well, again, just I want to ask, please, if you can, if you have time, real quick, or after you see, or what's going on, Gilbert? Um, After you see this, or right now, Ismael, how you doing? Oh, wait a minute, that came in quick. Ismael, how you doing? Interesting story with this guy. This guy has some pretty good predictions. Vale. So it's new. Let's get it. Yeah, that's what's up. Paco. I tell you. There's my brother from another mother. Um, Guys, we have some interesting things that have happened, some interesting things that have developed. Of course, first of all, what we do want to say is we send out prayers to the Eagle Pass High School student, to her and her family, that for whatever reason, that there was an accident that occurred, and we're saddened to hear about that, and for whatever reason it happened. um, we don't know the things that went on that caused it to happen, but we do want to send our prayers out, and prayers for who was involved as well. You never know. I think it was not an elderly man, but an older gentleman, and we don't know the situation, exactly what was going on or what happened, or all the details on that. So we do just want to say prayers to the family, prayers to those involved, prayers to, of course, the 16-year-old female that got injured, and the families that were affected with that. So guys, just we wanted to start off with our show by saying that. What we want to kind of get into now is anything new coming up in the political, who's registered, who's said anything lately as it comes to elections, people who's going to run, who's not going to run, what's going on with that situation. So um, here's what we got so far. We did have an announcement, guys, again from Luis Cifuentes, former mayor, that he was going to run. That he was going to run for precinct 4. We have yet to see an official registration come out. We have not seen, a swearing in. We haven't seen any photos or anything else besides the video that he released in his Facebook, stating his intentions. Now, since he stated his intentions to run for County Commissioner Precinct 4, he was demoted. Not, I don't know if it has to do with the same thing, right? The same situation, but the fact is he was demoted from being a head high school counselor in at the Eagle Pass High School. He was transferred over to CC Wynn, and I believe is now teaching history. Of course, this is in our eyes, outside looking in, we consider that a demotion. We have submitted a request to the Eagle Pass Independent School District Human Resources. I believe it was Mr. Costilla. We sent a request to him asking these questions as to what happened. Why was this man, Luis Cifuentes, former Mayor Luis Cifuentes, why was he demoted? Why was he transferred? Why was he moved to different campuses? We're just trying to get public information from a public entity like the Eagle Pass Independent School District, because we want to know what happened. I mean, it's a drastic move like that doesn't happen for any reason, whether good, bad, or ugly. We just want to know what happened. And I think everybody deserves to know what happened, especially somebody that has ran as a councilman for so many years, was just recently our mayor until he lost the most recent election, and now is going out wanting to run for another position. I think especially those elected officials are held to a different standard because, yes, they're everyday people like us, or maybe they're not, but they should be held to a certain standard, being that they're the people that we put in there. You know, this is supposed to be the people we have confidence in that can lead our communities. And why can't we know what's going on with these leaders in their personal situations, since they're the ones who volunteer to run for these positions? So there's my piece in that. Now, Luis Fuentes has yet to register. We're following that closely to see if that's going to happen or not. We did have Roxy Rios, an announcement from Rosana Roxy Rios, coming out for commissioner of Precinct 2. Now, that's an official. You guys may have seen it. We shared it as soon as we saw it. She's going to be coming out. She's going to be coming out I think I saw the party, the flyer that we shared on the 10th, I believe it was. Is that tomorrow? No, that's Friday. So they're gonna have something, and she's gonna come out and she's gonna run for precinct 2. Of course, we had a situation earlier about the redistricting and anything like that, and this is one of the individuals that it seems that they tried to redistrict on and try to keep her from running, which is I mean, I don't even know how to think about it. Is it a brilliant move or is not a brilliant move? I mean, you got to respect the political warfare that is actually shuffling all around and being done all around us without us really kind of noticing. And that's where I try to come in and try to offer you guys a perspective of what's going on through what I see through my eyes, as any journalist does for their business or their channel or what have you, right? So, anyways, we have, who else is coming out? We have heard several people that were going to come out and try to register to vote. I know the Maverick County Republicans Party is trying very hard, sending out Facebook posts and everything, rather consistently, and trying to attract more people. And we've had several people come out for positions that are intending to run under the Republican ticket. So that will be interesting. Now, next Friday, I believe, is the deadline to register for any candidate. So if you guys are thinking of running or anything, you need to do that very soon, or commit very soon, because that's going to come out right away. Now, we did get a confirmation, or I guess it's not confirmation until you actually register, right? But we did have information from you guys earlier, and later on, I was about to, or I did get to confirm it. We are going to have a Salia Cáceres running for tax assessor collector. Right now, it's currently held by Mr. Casas. He is a CPA, Jesus Casas, and he was appointed there. He was appointed by Commissioner's Court. I'm not sure. I can't remember off the top of my head how the voting went, but he was appointed there. Now, after being appointed there, he is now, from what I heard, I haven't seen anything public. Either he announced he will be running for that seat, or he already registered to run for that seat, one or the other. Now, like I'm letting you know, Asalia Cáceres will be. She's already set her intentions. Of course, until signatures are done and it's official that you register for one of these races. I mean, it's not a definite. Until you actually register. So we're just telling you what we hear in the backgrounds now. I also have another surprise that I just heard, and we're gonna try to confirm if it's true or not. He just tagged. What a coincidence that we were about to say this is that Domingo Rodriguez for JP will be running again for JP, and that's I mean news, right? Of course, the one who has been out on this one was Mr. Olivas, Raul Olivas. He came out, I believe it's for that same JP in Precinct 3, and they're going to be going towards facing each other in the Democratic primaries, which are in the beginning of March. So that's getting here very fast, guys, and we're trying to confirm. I think we're going to hear an announcement within the next couple of days. So that's going to be interesting to monitor and see. And Mr. Rodriguez, he's well liked in his precinct. He holds a lot of respect, commands a lot of respect in his precinct. And I think a lot of people like him in his precinct. So it's going to be interesting to see how that unravels before our eyes, right? And when we're able to see, him confirm and actually register, and then we'll have two registered for that spot, and that's how it's going to go. It's going to be. We have somebody saying tomorrow. The only thing I can confirm is within the next couple of days, which you have Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, right? So that's the up to date to what we have, what we've heard, who might be coming in, who might not. So it's interesting to get these things as we go. One of the things that I wanted to talk about, and we did post on our page, was the naming of the Commissioner's Court, Marietta County Commissioner's Court is now officially named because the sign is there, the lights are there. We shared it on our page, the picture for you guys, of Ramon Salcedo Jr., which is the father of current sitting judge, Marietta County Judge David Salcedo. And we asked y'all what y'all think. I don't know if you guys want to post in the comments what y'all think about that. I was not around whenever Judge Ramon Salcedo was a judge, so I really can't compare. But when you put somebody's name on a building like that and make it a part of historic, give it that historic value, I mean, I would have, and like I'm saying, I don't know if he is or not, but I would have wanted, one of the best judges there, like that absolutely helped our community, whether, whatever, because I know a lot back in the day. Maybe some people don't realize this. I know growing up, I didn't realize it until I learned. Our city used to be, there was a lot of Anglo here. It was white people, and all of a sudden, Hispanics started gaining and everything like that. And I think there was a conversation about Ramon Salcedo being the first Hispanic judge. But I think there was a doubt on that because apparently Judge Bibb was actually the first Hispanic judge. So it's an interesting conversation, way too long for us to have today. But what I'm trying to get at is the historical value that you're giving this building by putting somebody's name on it. Now, I don't know the history on Ramon Salcedo. I, I mean, I know if I was in those shoes, I would much rather have somebody else name my dad or name a building after my dad rather than it coming from me. Because that's a situation that's kind of, I guess a little too close to home. And whatever Judge Salcedo was feeling at the time, I mean, he made the decision along with the majority who voted for it. And there we have a sign. Our pictures on our page. You can go ahead and see it. I mean, I was trying to get a reaction to see how the community likes it or what the community thinks. Um, well, I mean, there's been a lot of there. I think there's two sides of the story. There's, of course, the historical value of it, and others may see it as he's just trying to um, put up his name up there for the name recognition with the election coming around. Now, I mean, those are different opinions that I've heard. I'm not saying it's one or the other. I mean, I can't, right? Only Judge Salcedo, if he would be able to join us for an interview, which takes me to my next topic, guys. I know you guys probably heard or read, or if you pick up, um, I guess for a lack of better word, quasi media news outlets out here, some tabloids. You'll be able to see they brought up our name on some papers, and that's fine. I think it was 2 weeks in a row, splash on the front page. But you see that there was an interview today done not by Maverick County, but by a certain publication. Now, that's fine. I welcome every single time anybody, people, or members of the media, any time that you can have in front of these elected officials and speak to them, have them handle questions or explain things that they do, decisions they make, things they propose, explain it to you in a one-on-one person where we can get it on a video where we can see and more people can see. That's a great thing. It's a great thing. But the thing that I don't like is when you are just okay with a certain media source, right? And I'm not saying, I'm big time media. No, nor do I want to be big time media. That's not the purpose of this. That's rather good side effect, I would say. But this is not the purpose. The purpose is to build awareness about the politics here that we have locally. One, because it is ran in the shadows, and I think that's one thing that we need to get away from in 2021. It's not the old political style that once was very strong here in Maverick County and everywhere. But we have social media now. We're millennials and younger now. We're the highest population, going down, from 40 years old, 45 years old, 50-year old down, and the political situation has dramatically changed. It's not the same political situation that we had when our parents were voters. We weren't able to vote. The political climate has changed drastically enough to where you need to be accessible now to people that want to interview you. So you've got these interviews being conducted, and I know the judge has a regular press conference. Judge Salcedo has a regular press conference in the commissioner's court, but we've tried to reach him several times through his messenger. We know he reads it because in Facebook, of course, you can tell when somebody reads your message. So we haven't had any kind of response from County Judge David Salcedo, and we would love to interview him one of these days, especially with recent things that have been going around that are swirling around the county. And I think that as a county judge, when you give or invite somebody or accept an invitation to get interviewed by whatever media source it may be, you need to understand that that invitation should stand to any media source that would want to interview you, especially with elections right around the corner and you have just registered for re-election. And you don't see that. Now, what you do see is a publication that gets paid uh, good. It gets paid well. Um, I do not know how to judge if that's way too much or way too little. To me, that's me, and what I've seen is one thing, and you guys might think differently. But you have this publication that goes in interviews and literally softball questions. Here you go, nice and slow, nice and easy. We'll throw you these little softball questions so you can hit them out of the park. And that, that happens, guys. That happens. And all you have to do is follow who gets paid how much where. And that's a great indicator. And it's not in every case, but it is a great indicator. It is a great indicator as to seeing what is actually going on in the bigger picture of things. Now, of course, I know every day to day, guys, you work, you have kids, you have responsibilities to take care of, and sometimes checking out elected officials, politicians, these are not things you keep up that many people keep up with. But as things have developed throughout, maybe the past 3 4 years, it has become ever so critical. I mean, it always was, but now we're literally making decisions on, whether our kids are going to be affected by certain decisions, and those decisions that are made by these people that we elect into office. There's a big, with politicians, is one thing I'll say what I notice. Maybe not every single one, but there is always a sleight of hand type of trick. They want you to focus on one thing, and there's other things going on. I mean, look at the way the border crisis is being handled. That we still have officials at the highest level of elected officials at the highest level still cannot say that we have a border crisis. Earlier today, there was just 300 illegal aliens detained um, in Normandy. That's in between Quemado and Eagle Pass, between Eagle Pass and Del Rio, a little closer to the Eagle Pass side. But the fact is, things are happening. And these things that are happening, there's a lot of other stuff happening in the back that we need to catch. We need to know. We need to know all the information, because you know what? They're not going to put it out there for us. And that is what changes what we are now as an evolution of people, and the digital age, the age of information. Everything is out here on everybody. We just need to make sure we're tuned in and catching, watching, seeing, being honest with ourselves of what is actually going on, not as what is being told to us. Because it's one thing being what we're being told, and one thing that's actually happening behind the curtains, right? Um, yes, Miss Canales got hired yesterday for a salary of 80,000 as the economic development director for, I believe it's It helps out the Maverick County. It helps out the city. Regional type of thing. I know this is a little. I didn't see this one coming. I don't know. I know she used to work a lot for the Democratic Party. I don't know how involved she is now. She is. I mean, she's been around a lot of politics, and I can't. I don't know too much about her. I haven't done any history. I do know that I have seen her regularly in events here and there. So maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it could be a bad thing. I just haven't done my homework on that. But she did get what I would call in our region a very, very hefty salary. Okay, well, guys, I want to come back because there's one thing that I think our good friend here, Joey, touched on. That's one of the things I wanted to touch on, and I see the information going out from the judges. I think the Maverick County page, and I saw one earlier. Like I said, I think this was having to do with the having to do with the bands coming out. Yeah, I saw another publication. Kind of advertising a free concert, guys. Again, I hope, please share this, put it in the comments, guys. She this concert this concert, guys, is not free. It's Other people said it was going to be a free concert. They offer a free ticket. Guys, we need to understand this concert is not free. It's coming from taxpayer funding. This same money they're spending on this band, it could have been used to pay for a sidewalk for your child to walk into, to walk on the way to the bus stop. This 74,000 could have been used to hire two people for a year to help with maintenance around the county. This 74,000 could have been used. Commissioner Olga Ramos of Precinct 3, she abstained from voting for this item. Why? Because this 74,000 of taxpayer funding, this 74,000 could have been used for any one of the projects in Precinct 3, any other project for Precinct 4, any other project for Precinct 1, any other project for Precinct 2, even though Precinct 2 has got a pretty good amount of funding going to them already, right? But it could have been 74,000 going to street pavement for streets that haven't been paved in the 150 years that the county has existed. And now the thing I want you guys to realize here. I know this, like the city of Eagle Pass brings bands in too, right? Um, Now, a lot of that funding comes from the hotel room tax, right? There isn't that many people. There's people visiting our city that stay in the rooms. Obviously, there isn't too many people that have a house here, live here, have an apartment, have some kind of housing here. You might rent a room. Let's be honest, but not that often. More than often than not, they're visitors. So that's where it's different. The city uses the hotel room tax, which is designated to use for certain type of events. Again, with the idea to bring tourism in, right? So that's what the city uses the hotel room tax for. Is for events such as the ones we have, the Fourth of July and everything. That's what that funding could be used for. I believe it's open to the public if you guys have a plan and want to do something as far as bring them an event that you want to do. You can do that. Now, the county, what they're doing is a little bit different. They don't use hotel room tax, right? Excuse me. Now, like I said, the difference is the city uses that funding, and they don't get into other funding that is designated for other stuff. Like in Maverick County, that 74,000 literally could have been designated for street pavement, for roof improvements, for sidewalks, for any other thing, right? And yet it was for two bands. These two bands, and this is what I want you guys to realize. If you saw yesterday's city council meeting, yesterday's Maverick County Commissioners Court meeting, you saw where there was two local bands that they were going to negotiate with, get a price, and they wanted to hire them. Okay, so who negotiated those contracts? Who negotiated the contracts before? Because all of a sudden, you didn't get any input from the people. It was just, oh, we're choosing these bands. And to my knowledge, these bands were never brought up in any discussion before that was done publicly. Because they like to do discussions in private. We know that for sure. So how did all of a sudden these bands get chosen? Now, couldn't they have offered just local bands instead of these bigger bands? Now, what I would like to see, and we'll be asking it hopefully before the week is out, is copies of these contracts so we can see who gets benefited from what. Because those bands just can't pop up out of nowhere. Because I can see local bands getting the money that they get, but it's nowhere 74,000, and that's two bands, of course. One was 65, and the other one was 9, if I'm not mistaken. So, excuse me, sorry, my throat was a little dry there. So what I'm saying is that it just doesn't look right coming from our taxes, the county's taxes. So to me, it's kind of like, you could do so much more with that. Because you know what? What's wrong with having our local bands? I bet you many of our local bands would have done a show for us for free to be a part of the 150 Maverick County. Why would you have to pay a local band for that? And I'm not knocking the bands that did get paid. I mean, I wonder how many they're going to get paid. I mean, how many bands are going to get paid, right? But I mean, that would be, you could have done, hey, we want to showcase as the 150th anniversary of Maverick County, the people, the talent of Maverick County. Hey, bands, do you guys want to sign up? We're gonna have like a battle of the bands, different local bands that are not gonna cost anybody 20, 30,000, 60,000. I mean, that would have been something that I would have liked to see at least. And look, you got Paco, just mentioning a couple of them. You know, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to mention the. I wonder if the red floors are gonna get hired. Of course, we know. I guess the lead or whatever is former state rep Poncho Navares on that one. Um, Tejano Backyard, I've heard him being, and we've all heard him growing up, of course. And they're good. I mean, these are decent bands that I'm sure do not charge anywhere near what the other two bands charge, and not because of lack of quality, but they're local bands, and I'm sure they would have loved to participate, in the 150th anniversary of Maverick County. So, guys, again, that's 74,000, and adding all the other bands now that are coming in. I think it was for 1,000 and 1,500. So you're adding, it's not 74 now, it's like 65, 76,500. Yes, 76,500 now. That they're paying out to bands when they could have done something else with that tax money. Yeah, exactly. I think this is a very legitimate response and question. Are you okay with them getting a 74,000 ban with your tax money? No. I mean, I'm not saying that those bans are not good. I'm just saying that they could have done so much more with that money. Why spend it on that? It could have been more responsibly utilized for our community than a 1 2 day celebration, couple of hours celebration. Experiences are nice. I know that. I believe that experiences are nice, but think about it, guys. This is our. I mean, this is your chance to get your kid that sidewalk. Imagine if it gets to their kids and they still don't have that same sidewalk because they spent 74,000 on two bands that are going to play a total of 4 hours for 74,000. We are not a rich community. Our county is one of the poorest counties in the state of Texas. That's the truth. And spending 74,000, real quick, they wanted to, I think, compare us to Laredo. We're not Laredo. Now, we're getting things together, and it looks like in the next, 10, 15, 20 years, once we're hit that elderly spot, we're gonna see. By the time our kids have children, we're gonna be able to see some of the effects of things being implemented right now. But what I'm trying to say is that what if that sidewalk never gets fixed for your children's children? That street, they still haven't even finished the amphitheater at the lake. They're jumping and jumping, trying to make everything look good because elections are around. So, what is it that, I mean, everybody just all of a sudden forgot the pavilion at the lake, where it seems nothing has been moved around in quite a while? You think they would have already finished that project? This came about when COVID hit. And that's the things that I'm trying to tell you guys. It's they put everything at halt, mobilize resources to assist those commissioners that may not have the popularity, may not have. It's looking like it's going to be a tough one in precinct 2. Let's put it that way. But again, all of a sudden, nobody in commissioner's court ever instructed legal counsel to negotiate with these two bands, Duelo and the Manita. What was it called? I've never heard of the band myself, but um, nobody in commissioner's court ever directed legal counsel to negotiate these two bands anywhere. So all of a sudden, you just have negotiated contracts with him. What? It's like nobody ever gave the permission to legal counsel to even go and negotiate any contracts for these bands. It kind of makes you wonder, is it because of the election coming around? Hmm. Good question. Could it? Nah. Could it be? Is it because of the elections? Is that why all of a sudden they started paving Memo Robinson after 8 years? Hmm. Interesting. Guys, another one. Let's switch up the gears a little bit. We've been pounding the county pretty hard, and that's not what we're trying to do intentionally by any means. Um, Another great topic. City manager George Antuna. We talked to him on the phone, guys. So it was a direct source from him. We saw we saw a interesting StubHub charge on his city owned, city provided, City of Eagle Pass provided credit card for George Antuna, city manager, a purchase of baseball tickets. So we asked George Antuna, the city manager, who was in attendance in the game. So of course it was him. He said Mayor Salinas was there, Councilwoman Ramon was there, his fire chief, his police chief, his planning director, his media relations, and I think, and the general bridge director or the bridge general manager. So you have this guy purchasing tickets, baseball tickets, playoff baseball tickets with a city card. Now, somebody should have told him, I don't think you can buy that with that. I mean, especially, with a city card. When we asked George Antuna about it, his response was that he used that card with the intention of paying it back. Um, I'm looking to see if I have a red flag there because uh, maybe we can do a red pen or something. Wave that red pen instead of since we don't have a flag. Now, guys, I worked with the city of Eagle Pass for about 15 years or so. Had I done that, had I ever purchased anything with a personal thing saying, hey, well, I'm going to pay it back later, no problem, finance department, I would have gotten fired. If it was any other city employee right now that would have purchased baseball tickets, pay them back 2 weeks later when I get paid or something, I don't know. Now, as long as they pay it back. Well, it wasn't a business trip per se. It was a training. I know that we're there for the TML training, so they paid the training, paid the hotel costs. But Astro tickets. Now, I think that kills the whole per diem type of situation there. I mean, you're talking about over $100 tickets for each employee that went. Um, well, I mean, we have all his Hector Perales. We have all his records. We're waiting for the city of Eagle Pass to provide us the purchasing policy because there is some questionable charges on there. Again, the only reason why I say this is that I used to work for the city of Eagle Pass. I worked in a couple of years in the finance department, not necessarily directly with purchasing, but I was a director at the time, so I had to look at purchases. I would authorize purchases. I've been in the course where I had to get purchases, a director's authorization for a purchase that I make. So I mean, I'm familiar just because of the years I've been there with the city on what can happen or what should happen. Baseball tickets, that's a first, guys. That's a first. First of all, that's a first. Second of all, he had the intention to purchase this and then pay it back. Now, it's like, let's say I needed to buy a suit. Okay, so I'll just use the city's card to buy a suit or a souvenir. But hey, 2 weeks later, I'll go ahead and pay. I got some more money now, or you know, if I am not mistaken, what we will see from this purchasing policy is that once again, it wouldn't be the first time the city manager breaks his own policies, breaks his own ordinances, because a purchasing policy, I believe, is adopted as an ordinance. I could be mistaken on that one, could be. But what you have is that who's holding him accountable? Uh, Honestly, it was a loan from the taxpayers, because tax money or bridge money or whatever you want to call it. I once had a finance director tell me, well, the tax dollars don't really make up our budget. The bridge makes up a certain amount. Yes, but who were the ones who elected the people that started building a bridge? Who are the people that put these people in place to vote on those types of things? Um, and that's exactly what I'm trying to get to you guys, is that it was taxpayer funded these baseball tickets. He paid it back, but he borrowed money. What is it? An interest free loan? I wonder if that's a new benefit now for working at the city of Eagle Pass. You get interest free loans from some of these people from the city, the taxpayers. Isn't that the craziest thing? He borrowed your money to buy employees tickets. Now, one of the things you got to understand is that when he bought those tickets, gave them to the employees to walk in, that is considered a gift. As a city public official or even an employee, you have to write down and declare any gift given to you and the value of that gift. And I don't know if I can't remember if there's a certain amount that you can only accept, or I think in the purchasing policy, if I'm not mistaken, employees should not accept any gifts directly. So you have a city manager buying or borrowing money from the taxpayers to buy tickets for gifts for City of Eagle Pass employees. Over $100 gifts. I mean, I have some gifts exchanged that are 25, $30, guys, not 30, not over 100. That's what that is. And I would like to see if they declared, actually, I'm going to write this down. Request for gifts received by directors of the city of Eagle Pass. Now, guys, if nothing is done about this, whose fault is that? Because again, you have somebody violating the purchasing policy. That normally would fall under the finance director, I would think. But again, you go back to it that you go back to the you go back to the city manager is under the city council. So the city council has the ultimate authority over him as per the contract, as per how our local government, City of Eagle Pass, is set up. But where's the finance director in this? Because there was a reason why that charge wasn't covered. I don't know if it was an accident or not. It doesn't seem like that. And Paco Jr. is correct when he says that they gave him a raise and extended him around the same time or afterwards. They gave him a raise after these tickets were purchased. I don't know if they were reimbursed yet or not, but I mean, he was given a raise after the fact. And he did this. I mean, it sounds like a big violation because you know what? It was purchased by a city credit card. Those city credit cards are tax dollars money, are public facilities that are used to generate money it belongs to us. We are the people. We are the taxpayers. So it's a very iffy thing. I have not heard anybody, mayor or council, I haven't heard them step up and um, say anything about the situation. Now, I'm not, I'm not saying that, oh, the city has to answer to my questions. I'm not trying to demand anything, but it is a blatant, flagrant, I would say, violation of the purchasing policy and an irresponsible way to borrow money from the taxpayers at, and then that interest, no interest rates, I mean, usually you'll get a 90, 80%, type of rate on that kind of purchase, right? um, Another thing, guys, that I wanted to bring about is the rumors, and I don't know if it's true. There's so much things swirling around the Luis Cifuentes demotion thing. Um, Now, is it really? Is it your internet? How does everybody listen, guys, or hear? How does the voice sound? Is it only Julie over here that's hearing everything muffled, guys? Let me know. I'm about to. I'm gonna. It's good here, no problem. Yeah, Julie, it might be your internet. It happens sometimes. I remember that's one of the initial things that we would always have problems when we first started having our podcast is somebody would have bad internet and it would kind of slow down for them, and others would be, like if nothing. So we have the issue of what's going on. It's, yeah. I mean, Paco says it directly. It is a misuse of a company credit card. Anywhere else, you would. Thank you, Marta. Anywhere else that you go, several people. Yeah, Julie. I think it was your internet. It might come back a little bit better right now, but you have a misuse of a credit card, and you're absolutely right. Any other company you do that, if you work at Walmart, if you work at HEB, um, you will. I mean, you're gonna get reprimanded somehow, and it might even lead to a firing. You might get fired if you use a company credit card for something other than it's supposed to be used. You know, and again, what we were going to was Luis Fuentes' reason. We're curious. We have to ask uh, the school district, and I believe I told you at the beginning of the show is that we do have a public information request that we have submitted already to the school district, and we're waiting for a response for that. But I mean, we want to know what the reason was. He was demoted. Was it because his work wasn't in order? I don't know. Was it because he didn't complete something? Didn't have his registration, teacher's license right? Didn't do his job as a counselor? Or was it because he was campaigning during or was it because he was campaigning during school hours? I mean, we don't know these things, so that's why we want to find out. And getting on that last topic, guys, one of the things that we have seen, and it touches very close to counselors, administration at schools, school district principals, um, anybody with the school district needs to be in school during school hours. I mean, anything that they do outside of their work, because they're also public employees. As let's say a principal, like we have a principal in the city council. We have a principal in the city council, Miss Yolanda Ramon, and we see her everywhere on pictures, on ribbon cuttings, and everything. And I don't have uh, her time tracked or anything, but I do see her at a lot of city events. Well, she was actually out in the baseball game as well. She was one of the people that was able to benefit from that ticket. that the city manager bought with taxpayer funds. But she did that. She's been in that the a week long seminar, a couple of days seminar, and then we see her at ribbon cutting. I saw her today in the Michoacana, um, in the Michoacana grand opening. And I just can't help to wonder: is school going on? Are they asking permission from the superintendent or from somebody to be able to leave for these political functions? And are they getting paid while they're, it's basically moonlighting. They're going to another job, not abandoning, leaving their first job. And if they're getting paid, I know city council doesn't get paid a salary per se, but leaving one, and if you're on salary and you're out in ribbon cuttings or out in trainings, those are days. And I know it's very important for teachers. This is alert instruction instruction days that need to be taught in class, or as an administrator needs to oversee and make sure that everything is running correctly in their schools. That's why they're in the position that they're in. So that's one of the things that we need to see, guys. I know we did see Luis C. Fuentes a lot during in the city of Eagle Pass Facebook whenever elections were coming up, coincidentally. But some of the things that we need to realize is that these people are out here. These people are trying to tell us that they're the best for the job. And yes, some are, but some are trying, again, as we say, doing the magic sleight of hand trick, where they show us something, but they're actually doing so much more on the back end, right? I think it was, I don't remember if it was Sigmund Freud's depiction of our egos, right? I could have it wrong, so please forgive me if I do. Where you have an iceberg and you have the water, right? At a certain level, and the ego is, like there's a piece on top that you can see that's above water that people see, and then you have a bigger portion that's under the water that people do not see. And that is what I like to call politics in Maverick County. Is that we see what's above water, but in the bottom, there's a lot of stuff that they don't allow us to see. They don't want us to see. They don't want us to know. And that's what we need to, as a community, be aware and try to, I don't want to say focus, but just try to keep that in mind when we elect people. We're coming up real quick on these elections come in March, and we need to make sure that we are paying attention and we know who are these people out there, who's running, what are they running for, what do they stand for, or are they coming just to help out the same old political machine that we have seen the past decade. I don't know about you guys, but things. I mean, it's up to us. It's up to the community. We can have what we've always had, or we can have something different. I'm not saying different is good, but traditionally, if you look back, having the same is not good. I'd rather vote for an unsure future than living your life stagnant in the same decade over and over and over again. Well, guys, that's pretty much about what I have today. It was a little bit late, but you see, I mean, you have one person. I don't know. I'm not sure who Mr. Uh, Jacob is, right? But it's people saying different things, and oh, man, nobody goes to Hooters for wings. Um, and we have time for change, and I think Mr. Juarez said it nice. Now is that change is natural. Change happens. It's evolution. Things change. Things will always change. The only thing you can be certain of is change, because either you change with the times or the times are going to change you, and that's just a definite statement of what is going to happen, what can happen, and what most definitely will happen. Right, guys? So, a quick shout out, as we always do. Real quick before that, guys, please share this video before you get off, before you log off. Make sure you share this video. It helps me with my sponsors. It helps me get my name out there so people can follow and hear this interesting news that we have. Hear a different perspective on things than the old regular, everyday business. We need more people to hear this, and not to necessarily agree with everything I say or everything we broadcast, but to the very least here's something different. There we go, with time for a change. All right, guys. Yeah, you know what, that's a good idea. Maybe we can talk with Mr. Mijares and see. I don't see why we couldn't talk with him, and let him know, just the way we did with the city manager. And kudos to the city manager, guys. He didn't. One thing I will say, besides, the flagrant error on the making that purchase, he at least was man enough to pick up the phone, answer, or give me his number and said, "Hey, give me a call and I'll answer and I'll talk to you, whatever you need." Because we've had politicians, again, Maverick County Judge David Salcedo, that hasn't gone back to us through Messenger, and we see him reading. We just want an interview, maybe a couple of interviews. I know shortly we're going to be calling out his challenger, former Mayor Ramsey English Cantu. We're going to be getting him out here for an interview sometime very soon. You can bet on that. He gave us his word that he would, and we're just trying to get both sides, both elected officials, and if we can get some kind of dialogue with current Judge David Salcedo. Hey, Judge, hit me back on Messenger. I know you do interviews for El Latino. We would love to interview you too. Let me know if you want. I can stop by your office and we can set up a time or something like that, and we can go ahead. We'll interview in your office if that will make you feel comfortable. But that's all I ask. Please be equal to all the news media here. That would be awesome, and would be great. Um, Yolanda Ramon, that's a good one. We can definitely reach out to her and see if she would like to be interviewed, and we can ask her directly about how she feels, or to ask her if she has permission from the superintendent or from the board members or anything to be out as much as she is, um, and be a principal like she is, right? Excuse me, guys. Well, that's going to be all for today, guys. I really appreciate you guys stopping by. We had a steady viewer count, so I really appreciate that. Again, share this if you can, guys. It really helps me out a lot, not only for my sponsors, but it helps us get our word, get our spread the information that we have here. Again, some of this is not readily available to you. Um, some try to create a diversion. Some talk about other stuff that, or paint a certain picture. We're here just to give you the truth and what it is, you know. So we appreciate everything, guys. Our sponsors, Rodriguez Consulting and Services, 830-971-4068. Law offices of Edgar H. Juarez. Better call Edgar. Justicia con Juarez. Viva K9 Dog Training, Grooming, and Boarding Center, 830-513-3523. Wagon Wheel Smokehouse and Saloon, 830-513-7250. You can always hook us up and send us a donation in Cash App, $, The Rising Texan Media. Guys, Wagon Wheel is going to be opening today on Saturday. I believe that's the 11th. So if you guys want to go out and get your dancing shoes on, have you a cold one or two, enjoy responsibly a night. The Wagon Wheel Smokehouse and Saloon will be open Saturday night, December 11th, uh, to have a good time, guys. All right. Again, thank you, guys. If you can't help me out directly with a donation in Cash App, please visit our sponsors. Help us out with help my sponsors out who keep this show going and going. We've been keeping it. Okay, Joey, that's not very nice. Our sponsors are what helps us have this broadcast every Wednesday for you guys. So we appreciate you supporting them as well. It really helps out. Um, Other than that, guys, thank you very much. Again, we're here for you guys, and we're going to be bringing you any latest news. Deadline to register will be next Friday, so be watching out between these next couple of days and next week. Who's going to be popping out with those registrations, those announcements for running for office? It's very important. And once they're elected, we're going to be trying to get interviews for you of every single elected official out there or aspiring elected official. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. I am not saying anything. But guys, thank you. Y'all have a nice night, beautiful night in Eagle Pass, and tomorrow we got Thursday. Hump day is over.